You guys won by double digits, but it was pretty tight there in the second half. They had that big run, obviously got it within 3. What was Coach Dawkins' message to you afterward?
He was a bit disappointed. We had multiple chances, to increase the lead. At one point, I think it was 17 or 20. And we let them back in the game. We said before the game that they're a very dangerous team. They can shoot a 3-ball. So we didn't do a great job of covering that this game.
Darius, I know it's a team game, but you hit 1,000 career points tonight, and you also moved up to 5th all-time on UCF's career assist list. What does those achievements mean to you?
It means a lot. Accolades like that is hard to do nowadays. With the transfer portal, a lot of people don't stay at one school for 4 years. So, to be able to leave my mark on the program and school history is something big.
Spoke with Coach Fisk from Episcopal earlier today. He told me to tell you that the Twins are really happy with reaching this mark. I wanted to know, where was kind of your mind at coming into a game so close to that 1,000-point mark?
That was one of the least things in my work. Something I've always been able to do is score the ball. My teammates, they find me open for threes. I try to get them involved as much as possible. So, my outcome was honestly just to win. I don't really care about the points too much. Some nights it's going to go in, some nights it's not. So, you just got to be able to come out and compete.
Deebo, you grabbed 14 points tonight. You had 6 in the previous 3 games. What were you feeling on the offensive end that sparked that?
Really nothing, just excited to be out there, and I was just playing hard. That's all I could do. And luckily the ball was going in the basket for me today.
You guys have started 4-0 with this home crowd behind you, but now you go to neutral territory to face a top 25 opponent. What kind of test will this be for the team?
It's obviously going to be a big test. It's not something that we're new to. Obviously, we opened up with a top 25 opponent, and we're just looking to go 1-0. Our coaches are going to do a great job with the scout, and we're going to watch the film and execute and learn from this game and see what we have to work on.
Obviously, a closer game, like you said, than you guys wanted. What do you guys want to work on defensively looking forward to the tournament as you do face that bigger competition?
Definitely got to work on not fouling. They got to the bonus, I believe, like the 11-minute mark, 12-minute mark, they got to the bonus. So I think Wisconsin's a pretty good team at that. So, going into this next game, we have to work on not guarding without fouling. And just no threes. Once again, that's something we struggle with this game and the past few games. So.
Deebo, you obviously had the hot hand, offensively. What do you see your role being on the team this year? Like, what are you known for?
Really just bringing experience and then knocking down shots when I'm open. But other than that, really just defending, doing a lot of stuff that don't show up in the scorebook.
Darius, do you guys think you've played your best game yet, or do you
Not
full
even
game?
close. Not even close. Defensively, I think we've had some great games this year. Offensively, we had some pretty decent games, but we haven't had a game where we, hung our hats on defense and we were able to execute offensively and felt like we want to play.
You guys shot it well from the perimeter against FAU and then 39% from beyond the arc tonight. Do you think you're starting to find some consistency with the deep ball?
Yeah, one thing we have on this team, we have a lot of guys who can shoot the ball and a lot of guys who can score. Obviously, we have guys coming back off of injury, so we're still building the chemistry and continuity together. But it's just a matter of time before we start putting all these pieces into place and completing our puzzle.
Deebo, I know you guys are upset maybe about giving up the lead, but to kind of beat back that run and re-extend it out, what does it say about this team and their ability to get in the paint, kind of scrum and get those points to stay in the lead and pull off the win?
I feel like we're real resilient. Like we've been in a lot of situations, so like we work on the stuff like everyday late game situations. So like we're prepared for like different runs. Like obviously teams are going runs. Like we want to prevent that, but if it happens, like we're prepared.
Both of you guys have played a lot of minutes at the college level. What's your message to Mustafa, who may have struggled tonight, but obviously has a big future ahead of him?
Next play, when we broke the huddle in the locker room, next play, that's all. He young, so like he gonna bounce back. We're not worried. Like Mustafa, he got a lot of potential. He's a great kid. So next play for him.
How do you guys, as a team, want to capitalize on more of those second chance opportunities regarding rebounds?
I feel like we do a pretty good job of that. That was one of our emphasis going into this game. Offensive rebounding. It's something we want to do every night. But I feel like some of those opportunities that we have, we try to force it up sometimes when we got guys on the perimeter who can shoot the ball very well. We just look for those kickouts. Those are daggers when you get offensive rebounds and you kick them out for guys that can shoot. That hurts opponents. And when you can just start doing that and putting those together, it would create a huge deficit in the game.
Darius, I know at times in your career, you know, the team has looked to you to be one of the primary scorers. You can still do it, obviously. I know tonight you didn't, you know, you had the 1,000-point, but only scored 6. But how comfortable is it out there knowing that you got so many great scorers around you that it doesn't all have to be on your shoulders?
It just makes my job easier. You know, I have a lot of guys who can also score from the perimeter. You know, last year was a little bit more packed in the paint. Now I can kind of get into the paint, distribute, and trust my guys to make open shots. You know, once they start doing that, you know, defense is going to start leaning there more, and then I can just find my own rhythm and find my own shots.
You guys had almost doubled Tennessee Tech's rebounds. What did you guys practice kind of before the game to lead up to that?
I don't really think it was anything that we practiced. We knew that they were a little bit smaller, so we tried to take advantage of that. And you know, we got 22 offensive rebounds, which is probably a season high right now for us. And we just want to keep building on that. We know that, you know, they were small, so we want to take advantage of it.
And then kind of follow-up question on that. I would see particularly you, DJ, kind of get switched up on one of their bigger guys despite them being a smaller team. Kind of in your mind, how do you handle that mismatch, especially knowing one of your big guys might be covering somebody that they're typically not going to be covering?
Me personally, I like guarding the big guys because I get a chance to be more physical. You know, it's kind of hard to be, you know, physical with guards your size throughout the game, but you know, the refs let the smaller guards bump with the bigs. But you know, with the bigs guarding the perimeter, they just have to use their length. Like for Mustafa, for an example, he's 7'2", long arms, a super long wingspan. So you know, we just have to talk to him as his teammates. You know, tell him to trust his help, and we got to tell him where we want him to send the ball.
Tennessee Tech was able to go out on that 15-3 run late, but you guys withstood it. What was the message from Coach like in the huddle to keep you guys together?
We just had to, you know, keep our composure. You know, the three ball is a dangerous thing. You cut a lead down in a blink of an eye. So, you know, they hit a few threes and they brought the lead down. You know, as a team, we have to be better. You know, building a lead, you know, we can't get complacent, you know, let people come back and get open shots. So that's something we're going to learn and watch film on.
So what do you guys think it needs to happen this weekend to have success in this Greenbrier tip-off?
We got a mentality. We go every game 1-0, so that's what we're going into. Not when 12 o'clock hit tonight, we putting this win behind us and we can focus on Wisconsin.
For a team with obviously a lot of new guys, how important do you think like the first road trip's going to be? You know, you're playing in a different environment. I know it's a neutral court for everybody, but it's be a good bonding experience, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good bonding experience. You know, I'm looking forward to, you know, West Virginia's a little close to home for me, so I'm pretty sure I have some family come out to support. But, you know, just as a team, we got to go on the road and just, you know, we're all we got. You know, we don't have any fans. Like Nation isn't behind us, you know, getting loud. So that's where you really have to trust each other, and that's where you really build those bonds and those team chemistry right there.
Darius, back to the 1,000-point mark. How proud are you that it occurred in a night uniform your entire career being a UCF night?
I'm super excited about it. You know, I wouldn't want to play for anyone else or anywhere else. You know, Coach Dawkins has been great to me ever since I got here as a freshman. He's always trusted me. He's helped me, and I've grown every single year. And you know, my accolades and stats can prove that.
I know your focus obviously been on Tennessee Tech, but Wisconsin, they've been a perennial tournament team. You guys know anything about the team you're facing on Friday night?
I've watched a little bit of them. You know, I think I watched who they played. No.
Last night?
Arizona, yeah. I watched a little bit of the Arizona game. I have to go back and watch that. I know one of the kids had 40, shot a lot of free throws. I heard they're really good free throw shooting, drawing fouls, and percentage-wise. So, you know, I feel like this is probably going to be a big emphasis going in these next few practices to make sure we're guarding without fouling.
One more question? I'm good?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
I thought we, beat a team that's very difficult to scout as well as defend. This style of play, as I talked to their coach, I really did like this style of play when we were scouting them, and because it's such a unique system. 5 guys that can shoot the basketball, but all 5 guys can get to the basket and make plays as well. And I think that showed tonight. And then they played, like their coach did. They never quit. They play every possession, and I thought they did a really good job. Now I thought our guys, when we built the lead, we have to learn how to sustain it and build on it. I thought, we made some mistakes during that time, and they were able to cut our lead. But when they cut the 3, I thought our guys have done what they've done all season long, and that's they've responded. They made the plays they need to make to build the lead back up again. And they played with a lot of poise down the stretch and gave us a chance to win the game.
Coach,
I know you said you liked how, how Tennessee Tech played, just kind of the matchup that it presented. What do you hope your team learned from a game like this, especially with how things got tight there in the second half?
Well, this is college basketball. Games are going to be very competitive. They're going to be hotly contested, and that's what you've seen happen again. And the thing I keep learning from our guys is basically, having poise down the stretch of close ball games. I think we've shown an ability down the stretch to make the right play, to get the stops that we need to be successful. And we have to continue to grow in that area. We can improve in a lot of things, and we can improve in that as well. But I do like our guys' poise. Right now, coming down the stretch of games, they've shown the ability to, gather themselves, focus in, and make the plays they need to make.
Coach, you kind of talked about Tennessee Tech kind of cutting into that lead, going into the end of the second. They kind of went on a 15-3 run. Defensively, what do you want to see tweaked going into the tournament next week?
Well, we have to be better defensively from the standpoint of guarding teams that have a number of threats on the perimeter. And this team was like that, but a lot of teams are like that in today's college game. So we have to be able to defend the three-point line better than we defended it tonight. We have to identify the shooters, that's knowing personnel better to make sure the guys that are the prolific three-point shooters aren't getting a lot of shots. And tonight, we didn't do that. We gave three-point shots to guys that were in the scouting report, guys that we knew were going to look for those shots and hunt them the most. And we have to do a better job of getting those players and taking them off of that line.
After starting the season 1 of 11, Deebo was incredibly efficient tonight. What have you seen from his growth early on?
Well, I thought Deebo was terrific. I thought he gave us a huge lift, especially in the first half. But the entire game with his leadership. He's a senior. He's a veteran. He's already accomplished in college. He's been, good, all of his years for the most part. And so I thought he provided that for us. He provides maturity. He has a great body. He can play multiple positions for us. And I knew the shots would eventually start to fall for him because throughout his career, he shot the ball, well from behind the arc. But, he got off to a slow start this year, and so I was waiting for the percentage to start to change, and I was happy to see him knock him down tonight.
Darius Johnson hit the 1,000-point mark in his career tonight. What does he mean to this program?
He means a great deal to our program from the standpoint. He's been a part of some really good moments, and he's leading us again this year. I think, for Darius, I look at a young man that's a 4-year player in one program. It's probably pretty rare nowadays, and that's just the nature of our sport now. So to have a guy that's been with you for 4 years, that does a lot for us because he understands exactly what I want. He's been in so many key moments for us. So having that type of experience, that type of extension of your coach is very, very important, especially when you have 11 new players on your roster. So him understanding that and relaying that message to the players, what I want, has been huge for us. And he scored, of course, 1,000 points. And for me, when you score 1,000 points, like I said earlier, it's not about you, it's about your teammates and everybody around you. You don't achieve that type of, milestone without the personnel. This isn't tennis, it's not golf. So, it's not an individual sport. So, I think he'll reflect on all the guys that he's played with over the years. I know I did when I was reaching my marks. And I'm sure he'll do the same. And just the fond memories and moments that he'll think about from what his teammates were able to provide for him as well.
Keyshawn has talked about adapting to a new environment. He leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists tonight. Where's his ceiling?
Keyshawn's still developing in our system. I don't think Keyshawn is where he's going to be as the season progresses. I can still see where he can grow his game, in our system. And he's just, like I say, he's just learning. He's 4 games into what we do. He's had a different system. He's had multiple different coaches, and I'm at least his 3rd new coach in college. So, those are the challenges that we face now and trying to speed up that learning curve, with these players in your system. I think as he continues to get more comfortable in our system, I think he's going to even do better for us. It's just a function of getting more games under his belt, continuing to understand exactly what we want by watching tape and what we do in practice.
You mentioned earlier how the team was able to build the lead back up after it got back down the 3. What does it say about this team's maturity to kind of hold the line there? You obviously don't want to be in that situation. You want to extend that lead, but what does it say about this team's maturity to answer that run back and then finish the game?
Well, they definitely showed a great deal of maturity and, like I said, poise, because you have to be poised and calm in those situations. A lot of times when you have a younger team, they kind of can lose themselves and it can go the other way. These guys have a calmness about them, they have the poise, and that's why they were able to kind of turn it around during that time. Now, for us, we don't want to keep being in those situations. We have to find a way to build and sustain these leads. That's something that we have to do, and what we're watching film on and teaching our guys, like how do you build on a lead? How do you sustain a lead? And that's where our growth is going to be. So as mature as they've been, closing games, coming down the stretch, making the right play, we have to be better throughout the game of when we're getting leads to kind of continue to build on them. And that's another facet that we have to learn with this group.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win, but it's a small sample size, but in the Big 12, there are 3 guys on your team that are in the top 10 in scoring, which says a lot about your offense. What have you kind of put into practice to cater to the amazing transition offense and half-court offense that you guys have carried out this season?
Well, we wanted to take a hard look at everything that we did in the off-season, and that's one of the things we wanted to try to build on. We wanted to, play with a better pace. We wanted to, install a new system for the team that we were building this year with the players we had coming in. And I think we're able to do that. I think we've been able to build a system that complements these guys. I think a pace that's better suited to the depth that we have on this team. And I think our guys are just, again, they're getting more and more comfortable with what we want in our system. And then I think Coach Adam Hood, who we brought in as a coach, assistant coach for us, he does a very good job of that from the standpoint of what we wanted. So we knew defensively we defended. That's kind of our, trademark here. We've defended, every year. But we wanted to combine that with a more high octane offense to try to, change, our look and how we play. And we're getting there. I'm not saying we're completely there yet, but I can see where we are making strides in that direction.
Johnny, you guys obviously beefed up your non-conference schedule to prepare for a year or two in the Big 12. What do you hope to gain out of this weekend's tournament, with playing against Wisconsin, possibly LSU and Pitt? What do you hope to get from these games that maybe will help you guys as you move towards the conference tournament?
Well, again, to prepare ourselves for our conference, we need to have games that's going to reflect the type of opponents we're going to face on a nightly basis. And I thought playing in the Greenbrier event would be great because, all those teams are accomplished, all of them are very good. And like I said, they have terrific coaches. So we're going to be in a position where we're going to, face some tough challenges. Of course, I'm only looking at one team, and that's Wisconsin. That's all we're concerned about. And we'll start preparing for them this evening. But, gives us an opportunity to kind of see, where we are and what we have to do going forward. And so, to me, I look at all these as opportunities. And so it's another great opportunity for us to continue to grow as a team.
In football, there's always been offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. I know Adam Hood, who you just referenced, he was offensive coordinator, maybe was his title at his previous stop. Just what kind of fingerprints has he put on this? I know you just kind of alluded to it a moment ago, but what specifically has Adam Hood brought to your offense to kind of help change things up this year?
Well, one thing is our pace. We're playing, a higher possession game. We were in longer defensive possessions where we played and maybe a few longer offensive possessions. So our possessions are a little shorter. Our pace in transition, we picked that up, so we're faster in transition. And we have more movement, more ball movement, body movement. So those would be the things that probably have been more adjustments from what we did, is the ball and body movement, ball movement and body movement, as well as our pace have been the areas. I think we did some good things spacing, and we did some other things, good things identifying players and attacking them. But we've combined that now with what we're doing, and I think it's been good for this group.
Touching back on Darius's 1,000-point milestone, I thought that Coach Jim Fitzgerald from Episcopal about Darius's time in high school, and he noted his work ethic is one of the big things about him. When Darius came to UCF, do you kind of expect him to hit this 1,000-point mark and become the 21st night to do it?
I definitely expected him to be able to do this. So to me, it's not really a surprise that he was able to hit the 1,000-point mark, because I'd watched him play since elementary school. So he's always been able to put the ball in the basket. And so the thing that I want him to learn is put it in the basket and also run and lead your team. And so that's the thing that I've been enjoying, watching him grow into his role as a lead guard, being calm, showing poise, making timely plays. And I think that's what you've seen, especially over the last several years as he's starting to mature in our program. You're seeing him grow in those areas, and he's become a very good point guard. I mean, I wouldn't trade him for any point guard anywhere. I think he does a great job for what we do in our system and who we have. And I'm glad he's on our team.
You guys have started 4-0 with the home crowd behind you, but now you go to neutral territory to face a top 25 opponent. What kind of test will this be for the team?
Oh, this will be a great test for us. Like I said, going to a neutral site, playing Wisconsin, an opponent that's very, very talented out of the Big Ten. So looking forward to it, But this is opportunities for our guys to grow, to get better. You're only going to get better through these experiences, and we're going to learn more about our team, like we learned about our team tonight. We're always learning, and so we're going to learn about us in that type of environment, in that type of neutral setting now, and see where we are. The main thing is that we take out of it is we have to bring who we are to that arena. We have to bring our competitiveness, we have to bring our passion and our desire to be successful, and that's what we're going to try to bring up there is that mindset.
Time for a few more.
You said you've been watching Darius since he was in elementary school. I'm trying to do the math. I'm not sure if you were still at Duke at that point or maybe at Stanford, but do you kind of remember when you saw Darius, maybe he was in middle school or early high school, where you knew, like, this is a guy, wherever I'm coaching, he's going to have, and I know there's the family connection as well, but when did you remember watching Darius and really saying this guy's going to be a college star?
Probably in middle school. That's when I saw him play, and I saw, because he's playing against, an AAU competition against all guys in his age group. And I thought he's one of the better guards, when I watched him play. And so that continued through high school. We still one of the better guards. So it wasn't hard to see, what, if I have an opportunity, I would love to be able to coach him. And, fortunately it worked out.
Coach, you guys were a plus 22 in second chance points today. Was that something that you put an emphasis on coming to today's game?
No, we did. We thought one of our advantages was our size and our length, and we had to take advantage of that because, they were playing, we always say styles makes fights, and so their style is playing small ball and spacing the floor, penetrating and pitching and kicking out the shooters. So our style is we play bigger, we play longer, and so we have to be able to have our style, take advantage of our strengths. Now, they were trying to take advantage of their strengths, and one of our strengths was, on the offensive boards. We had to have that type of a number on the offensive board to offset some of the things that they could do offensively on their end. So, and we emphasize it, and I'm glad to see our guys, respond.
Coach, today you went up against, you just mentioned it, but a much smaller team than you guys. Is that something you kind of look forward to, or something that stands out to you before you send out your roster?
No, absolutely. You want to face all different types of opponents because in conference play, you're going to face different styles again, and you have to have seen those different styles in order to be successful. Some teams are going to play small ball, some teams are going to play big, and you have to be able to find a way in each one of those situations to be successful. And this gives us a snippet of what we have to do, so we'll be able to watch film, we'll be able to talk to our players and practice things that help us playing an opponent like this based on what we just saw. Because we're going to see it again by some team. I can't say which I haven't watched any of the teams play yet. I'm sure somebody's playing smaller, and when that happens, we have to be prepared.
Notice Mikey Williams out of the booth. When do you expect to work him in to get in action?
He's still day-to-day. He's out of the booth, but he's not practiced or anything, so he's still day-to-day getting himself back. But it's good to see. That's encouraging to see. He's responding, he's improving, and so we'll just continue to work with him until he feels comfortable enough to be able to get back out there. But I'm happy to see he is trending in the right direction.
What about Jalen? Update on Jalen?
Same thing with Jalen. Jalen is still day-to-day as well. He's I think he's improving, but it's still day-to-day, and we'll see. As time will tell with him in his situation, but he's in a good place. He understands where he is, and we just have to continue to give him time and let him continue to try to heal.
All set? Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
Safe travels.
You got it.